Alright, I wanted to make this video because I've been seeing a lot on social media, hearing from my friends, that we just weren't set up for financial success growing up. And the strategies that we're taught in high school by our teachers, our parents, just aren't the same strategies that are going to necessarily work today. Because I'm sure we all heard the same rhetoric growing up. All we need to do is get good grades, work hard in school, go to college, and then when we graduate, we'll have a job waiting for us. And then we'll be able to afford a home, build equity through the home. That's just the secret sauce, and you'll be financially healthy for the rest of your life after that. And that's not impossible. That can totally happen today. I'm not saying it's not a good strategy, but for the most part, for most people I know, that's been a pretty unsuccessful strategy. And the numbers prove it. I mean, most people today go to college and end up with a job they never needed college for in the first place. So what do they have? 4 years of wasted work and a substantial amount of debt? Buying a home, same thing. I mean, you don't need to buy a home. I want you to buy a home. I hope you can afford to buy a home, but don't waste every penny you have sacrificing everything you own and your enjoyment in life just to be able to afford your monthly mortgage. Because it's the American dream and we're a failure as a human if we don't own a home eventually. It's perfectly fine to rent. Why as kids are we being told that it's okay to take out tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars in loans to be able to do these things where we're not guaranteed a return on that investment? I mean, think about it. You're 18 years old, fresh out of high school, and you're being told it's okay to take out a $50,000 loan to go to college? Why is an 18-year-old playing around with that much money to begin with? And it's not even their money. They're borrowing it, going to have to pay it back with high interest for who knows how many years. We should not be being taught to play with money we don't have, not that much money that we don't have. And it's frustrating because there are alternatives. You don't need to be spending a bunch of money you don't have on college, a bunch of money you don't have on buying your first home. You can do other things with the money you do have. I mean, I wish when I was in high school, we would talk more about investing into the stock market because it's pretty much a guaranteed return. The S&P 500 returns 8 to 10% of your principal on average each year. And it's proven through time. For the last 100 years or so, it's always gone up on average. 8 to 10%. That's free money. That's a guaranteed hit. I mean, why are we not talking about that? Why are we instead being told it's okay to take out $50,000, $100,000 for a loan to do something where we're not actually guaranteed it'll work out and that money will come back pouring in later on in life? It's absurd. I wish when we were younger, someone would tell me, hey, all you need to do is open up a brokerage account, put money into it, $100, $1,000 a month, a week, whatever you can afford to put in, and just start buying pieces of the S&P 500. Investing to me was always this absurd idea up until these last few years, and I blame my elders and society for the most part, because for the most part, when I heard the word investing, I always associated it with uncertainty, risky, and meant for the super elite and financial wizards of the world. And I mean, maybe 20, 30 years ago, that was the case. I mean, these are our elders preaching it, you know. Back in their day, I'm sure it was really difficult. Because back then you had to actually call up your broker and talk about the trades and get those submitted. You probably do want some sort of understanding of what you're doing, but in today's society, it is the easiest thing. It is so simple to go ahead and start investing. All you need to do is grab your phone, download Robinhood, Fidelity, whatever app you choose, open up a brokerage account, toss some money in there, $100 a week, $100 a month, whatever you're comfortable with. You do not need to take out $100,000 in loans. put whatever money you can put into it, buy the S&P 500, and watch it grow. Might not be a super sexy upswing, might not be a super exciting thing to do, but it's going to work. It's pretty much guaranteed. All you need to do is sit there and be patient and watch the returns roll in. College and buying a home, these strategies that were promised to give us that financial stability are not certain investments anymore. The rules have changed. It's more risky to do that than it is just to put a few $100 into the S&P 500 now and then. And that's investing. We're not talking about inflation and all this other stuff that life is hitting us with. How to be financially responsible, how to be financially literate. A lot of these things I learned in the last 5 years when I started investing, and it's just becoming more and more crazy as I realize that these are everyday stuff I, as an almost 30-year-old, have to live with every day that no one ever talked about. Credit cards, taxes. But I am taught it's okay to spend a bunch of money on college and a bunch of money on buying a home. I don't know the first thing about home maintenance or home insurance and property taxes and things like that. But I'm being told that I just need to go ahead and do it. I took out a bunch of money for my education when I went to college, and I spent hours every night trying to understand my loan because these interest rates were different, and I don't have to pay any principal for this amount of time. Like, these are stuff that we need to be walked through instead of spending day and night figuring it out once it's already knocking on our doors. We're not talking about investing. We're not talking about inflation. Inflation is a huge deal. And I'm sure if you're watching this, you've felt inflation. Especially as a young adult, you're starting to feel it in reality. I mean, if you have $100 sitting in the bank account, right? Let's say your grocery bill is $100 a week. So you put $100 in the bank account, and that's what you spend on groceries. A year from now, that same grocery purchase, your same, whatever you bought today, a year from now, you buy those same exact things, it's not going to be $100. It's going to be $120. So that $100 you kept in the bank account is now worth less. The purchasing power decreased. Inflation is chipping away at it. How do we protect ourselves from that? Through investing. Like I said, the S&P 500 returns 8 to 10% on average each year. Inflation right now is at 3%. You're outpacing inflation. Why are we not talking about this? Why, as a kid, did no one tell me how to put money into a brokerage account? They're telling me to put into a savings account, which, again, it's not a bad thing. These aren't bad ideas. I mean, they'll build financial discipline and responsibility, but they're not strategies to make me wealthy. They're not strategies to make you wealthy. It's crazy because the same rhetoric has been repeated over and over and over again, and that's why most people are in this situation they're in today, because they just weren't taught the right financial rules or outdated ones, and they're being sold promises that just aren't true. And I want to keep making clarification that, I went to college, right? And I plan on buying a home eventually, but it's not my end goal. These things are not what is building me my wealth today. I started investing 4 or 5 years ago, and through that, 4 or 5 years later, I'm seeing the fruits of it. I am seeing it become something, and now I'm realizing, oh my God, this stuff actually works. Why didn't I start when I was 18? We should all be starting when we're 18, 20, fresh out of high school. I hope that if you're young enough, you are 18, 20, you start doing it today, because you're going to thank yourself 30, 40 years from now. And if you are a little bit later in life, mid-30s, mid-40s, it's better now than never. Because this stuff actually works. I'm sorry you weren't taught it younger. I hope the system changes. I want to put this video out because it's really frustrating that none of this stuff is talked about enough. These things that actually matter impact me. As a 29-year-old today, I deal with this stuff every day. Not just investing in inflation, but credit cards, taxes, a bunch of stuff that we're just not taught, that everyone needs to deal with. So that's the end of my rant here, but I hope this message hits you hard. I hope someone takes it and puts it into practice. I'm gonna make more content. I'm gonna talk more about investing, inflation, and credit cards, because they can be a good or really bad thing depending on how you use it, how to deal with taxes, all stuff that I figured out because it hit me. It hit me and it's going to hit you. It's probably already hitting you if you don't even realize it. So that's the end of this video. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.